What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another Pay-Per-Viewpoint edition of the Smark Moment Smack Talk podcast. One of those rare editions where we're doing a post show, but we didn't do a predictions show. Very, very rarely ever happens, but that's the case here with the WWE Superstar Spectacle event that just finished up. It's around 11 in the morning now when we're recording this. So we're going to run down the card. We're going to show you, or not show you, we can't show you that. It's a copyright issue. We'll tell you what happened, and we'll give you our thoughts on everything that went down, and so on and so forth, the way that we normally do here. I'm Tony Mango. I've got with me Robert D. Felice.
Hey, hey.
And I've got you listening. So I want you to know what you guys have to say. Drop a comment below. Tell us your thoughts on Superstar Spectacle. I'm assuming most people did not check it out because it's kind of something that flew under the radar a little bit. It's not the most important thing in the world as far as like which one are you going to invest more time in, this or the Royal Rumble this week. And I'm pretty sure people are leaning more. Yeah. And some people might treat it like that, but we didn't, because the Royal Rumble's awesome. Yeah. It's the Royal Rumble.
I do think you might see one or two of these superstars at the Royal Rumble.
I think there's a chance, particularly the two biggest ones, but we've seen a couple different talent here. We knew the spoilers ahead of time since they did this at the Thunderdome, and they did it Friday morning. So nothing too surprising as far as that's concerned, but this was our chance to check out some people for the first time and to see a couple other people again. And then, of course, the regulars like Finn Balor, we know who they are. But yeah, drop a comment. Tell us your thoughts on this. Do the same thing with...
There's an interesting first time ever, though. Finn Balor. First time ever competing in the Thunderdome because he works NXT.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that. For the first time ever.
We got it in. Yes.
Yeah. Join us with this discussion by doing everything you normally do here. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the applause button, hit the join button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, drop a comment below, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Moment, and we'll do some other plugs later on. But let's start off with the beginning of it, because why not? And
it's usually a good place to start.
Before they had done the matches, according to the people on the Thunderdome footage, they had recorded some other stuff, and it was like Jinder Mahal wishing everybody a happy Republic Day, and so on and so forth. They didn't really show much of that. They did show a portion of it a little bit later on during the show, but we skipped like the Triple H thing, and they showed a video package, but the video package was just a normal video package. Nothing really too much going on there.
It's exciting. Like, they're talking about the history of wrestling in India. They did not cover Ring King. I'm sorry. I like it. Like, I know we're obviously going to have our own biases because we are not this crowd that has grown up loving WWE but hasn't gotten any dedicated WWE shows. But I guess we can start there. Michael Cole is rattling off these statistics like, hey, did you know that India is like our top company on a company on
the company of India. Man, things change once you get to Peacock.
Yeah, well, you see, he was saying company statistics. He's like, God, India is our top viewed Facebook country and our top viewed YouTube country. And it made me go, well, then why the fuck haven't you gone there? Like,
yeah, why the hell did it take so long if they're the number one out of all these things?
Like if they are legitimately the number one country for you guys with your digital footprint, go over there, give them a show, and not just give them their own show, give them like a WrestleMania-sized show.
Yeah, do a SummerSlam there or something. Like, why not? You did it in the UK in 1992,
I think you're going to start to see more of those localized special events now with things like the network, which will now be on Peacock, which we'll talk about later this week. Overall, though, I thought this was a good start. Like, this felt different. It felt exciting.
I don't think it was good. I don't think it was bad. I think it just was. It was the type of thing that, like, they did what they wanted to do. they didn't put a whole lot of effort into it, but then there is the pandemic too. I'm sure if this would have been, over in India, they would have made it a more, well, spectacle.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate the
this would
name
have been like
still, but
this would have been
like
3 hours long, and it would have had a shit ton of spectacle. There would have been elephants. Drew McIntyre would have came out on an elephant. Like
there would have been
would have been
pyro type stuff. There would have been a bigger,
would have been a
everything would have
bigger
been bigger.
dance number. Would have been like Indian celebrities that you've never heard of sitting all across the front row.
Yeah. And since this was a Thunderdome show, that fell flat. But it's good that they got it. This isn't for you and I. This is for the Indian market. So we're going to be a little bit more relaxed on it than we normally would be. But,
Right
uh,
down to the point where they kept pitching for commercials, and we did
you
not have
know,
commercials.
I didn't understand that at all.
I did because
That felt weird.
I've watched shows like this in the past where you're watching a different country and they're pitching to commercials for you, but the other country's not getting it. They're just seeing a continuation of the action.
So they just ended a lot later than we did?
Yeah, because they would have had like full commercials and stuff.
Oh, that's weird. Why wouldn't WWE put other commercials in that spot?
I'm not. Are you kidding me? This is one of the best things they did. I'm watching on the network. You're not getting me with commercials, pal.
I mean, like, wouldn't that have been a better spot to put, like,
I did expect a Rumble ad or two. I'll say
yeah,
that. Like
like
I did
an ad
expect a Rumble
for
ad.
NXT Takeover coming up in February, or hey, remember everybody, Elimination Chamber's coming up on like they could have utilized that time that way. Instead, it was weird because they just kept like, all right, we're gonna fade away. We'll be right back immediately. It's just like, all right,
But again, completely not for us. We're just lucky enough to see it.
yeah. Before we talk about the first match, let's talk about the interstitials. Because why not? We had like the great Khali basically say, Happy Republic Day. I trained 3 of these guys.
Yeah. Well, he trained Kavita Devi, or did he? He booked Kavita Devi. Kavita Devi was praising him in a recent interview.
I only remember him mentioning Shanky, Zanjeer, and Raaj, but he might have said something
He,
about her or
I mean,
something.
I'm guessing he's probably had a hand in all of them,
Probably.
except for the one that teamed with Charlotte because she's American.
Oh, she's American.
Yeah, they again. You need to listen to the commentary. They said she got trained by the same person who trained Bayley. That's why Bayley was in the match.
Oh, huh. Yeah, I kind of blocked out the commentary.
Yeah,
Other than a couple little moments here and there. They were wearing their like sweater vest type outfits.
Michael Cole looked good in the
Little
little sweater
different.
vest. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, why not? More traditional type of thing for that environment. Go for it. That's the type of little bit of flair. A little bit. We had
Woo.
2 other flares. That they should do in those kind of environments. Well, not the Thunderdome, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. You should get festive for the country that you're playing to.
Yeah, just like how at WrestleMania they used to wear a tuxedo, and you know. What other interstitials did we have? We had a Kavita Devi video
Yeah,
package. She wasn't
they
there, and
said
they
she
said that she
was
was in India.
with her family, taking care of her family right now, which makes sense. There's a pandemic. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
argue that. Uh, she seems like she'll be a big deal. From what I've seen, I can't say she's the best. I've only seen her in a couple matches in that WrestleMania Battle Royal, but she definitely seems like somebody they want to promote. I do hope that she gets better in the promos because she was kind of speaking in this interstitial they did, and it felt very wooden. But other than that, she'll be a star. They called her a trailblazer. They were really nice to her, and really they were nice to every single one of these talents. And it is legitimately exciting. You're launching a whole new market for a whole new crowd. Something that we're kind of spoiled by right now, but this is still a pretty interesting thing to see. They got this UK thing and this India thing. I'm approaching this as if I didn't have to work and like I was just a wrestling fan. I was like, wow, there's so much more out there to consume now. That's cool.
Here's
I'm
one
also
of my
probably happy because it's
criticisms.
9 a.m.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm tired, so I didn't really like the whole 9
Well,
a.m.
I
type thing.
slept like a person, Tony.
Yeah, to give you an indication of what my sleeping habits are, everybody, I took Benadryl at midnight, and I remember looking at the clock at 6 in the morning and being like, "Well, that didn't fucking work."
Jesus.
So, yeah. Here's one of my criticisms about this. With the KVDV video package and every other one, nobody had any character other than who they actually are. And I know that
Yeah.
that's not like the type of thing that they're not trying to promote, like, the Otis has this type of character or whatever. But to me, after watching 3 video packages of here's who I am, and I'm really excited to be representing India, I was just like, all right, I don't need to watch anymore. I get it. They're all baby faces. They're all one of the big things that annoyed me with this was all they kept saying was, and this person's going to be a future star. They didn't
Yeah,
have
I
any
got the
other flair to that.
message. I got the message in the middle of the show. Hey, are they fighting for contracts? It's like, I don't know, but they're making it sound like it.
It's weird because they were just like, oh, this person's going to be a future star, and this person is going to be a future star. And Matt Bloom is calling this one a future star. I get it. Why can't you
Okay,
say
like
like
let's.
this person I don't know, lie. And even just say like we're looking at Giant Zanjeer as the future world heavyweight champion. You know what I mean?
But
Just
let's be.
change it up a little bit at least.
It's sort of like the United Kingdom Championship tournament, right? So they didn't have to go on and on about them being a future WWE star because you could just be like, oh, this one might be the United Kingdom champion. This show, they haven't announced what they're fighting for yet. So it was weird because they're not, like, they don't have their own brand technically, but they are fighting to be a future WWE superstar. But I do agree they could have switched up the verbiage.
And it would have been really good to see like a heel. Because Guru Raj, babyface. Dilsher Shanky, babyface. Giant Zanjeer, babyface. Sandhu, Sareena Sandhu, babyface. Jeet Rama, babyface.
Well,
Indus
that's only
Sher,
five
somehow
people.
babyfaces now.
That's only 5 people, so I think you can get away with it.
It was
Indie
everyone
share
except for Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys.
Indie shares baby faces did not work for me. I do think it's funny that their interstitials were separate. Like Rinku had one, and then Savar had one, and then they're like, yeah, and then we subbed each other, and we realized we could do great things. It that much felt odd because we know who these guys are. You could say that we don't NXT because you put them on for a minute, but we knew that these guys could just be machines and killers.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt weird that like they're throwing around the Bollywood Boys and they're just like, yeah, namaste. That is what they said, right? That's what they had Drew McIntyre go in the middle and he said namaste.
I think
Like,
so.
I just thought that was weird because they don't look like chill dudes. They look like they're going to kill you.
Right.
And also, man, McIntyre, Goldberg should have turned McIntyre heel for this very event so that McIntyre could say, yeah, screw you, I'm WWE champion. And then Jinder comes out like the hero and he's like, hell yeah, Maharaj is back. Let's go. They didn't do that. That's what they should have done. It felt weird that Jinder was the heel here.
Instead, we got a series of generic matches. None of them were really anything great. You don't have to go watch them if you missed it. None of them were really bad. They were just matches.
I liked Jeet Rama. Jeet Rama will be the first NXT Indian champion.
We're gonna kind of disagree on that.
unless they're gonna go with the heartwarming story of Guru Raj,
Well,
who
Guru Raj was the first one we saw. It was him against Finn Balor. Balor won by pinfall. And, he seemed like he had some talent to go
he
with.
he did a high flying move. He did a crossbody. So they sold us on, and that's what they gave us.
Like with any of these guys, I kind of looked at it as if they haven't been wrestling long, I can't judge them based off of the other people. Like, yeah, Balor is going to be the better wrestler between the two. Of course he is, you know? But Guru Raj, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
His theme song was pretty funny. Just
Yeah.
Guru Raj.
It really was, like, he just sang his name, Guru Raj. Think, you know, you get the Indian thing, and it's like, come on, you could give these guys a little bit more. I don't know who the fuck is doing their theme song these days, but you can do better.
Well,
And that goes across every single brand. What is this, the 6th brand? This goes across all 6 brands, okay? Like,
might be the 7th.
if we're counting 205,
Yeah, Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, NXT
right.
UK, main event.
Yeah. Don't count main event. Don't be paid. Don't pay for those people.
So that would be 7th.
Wow. 7 brands. But yeah, work on better music.
And you know who the weirdest out of all the music though? Giant Zanjeer. He had like a techno-y kind of theme. Did not fit him at all.
He's the giant. He likes to get funky.
He could have fooled me. He just walked to the ring.
The Great Khali was a playboy, and he just walked to the ring.
Oh, he had a catchy ass theme though.
Yeah, he did. He does.
The Balor and Raaj match. I don't have anything to say about it. Do you?
I think he's the feel good story. So I think he could be a top star if they want to go with like a Tyler Bate kind of vibe.
Guru Raj, Guru Raj, Guru Raj.
Guru Raj, Guru Raj. You know, it does kind of work.
I still don't get the whole Tyler Bate with Saturday thing.
The British just like singing songs.
Yeah, then again, we're getting into the whole take your shoes off type thing. I mean,
yeah, like I wonder what kind
should I play the ignorant American card again?
What's stopping you? I wonder what they're gonna do for those kinds of things. Like if Indian crowds will have their own chants or anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually ever seen.
I've never saw Ring of King.
Yeah, I never watched any of that. So I'm curious what kind of like colloquialisms or generic chants they would have.
We didn't get any of that. We didn't get like any vibe on what they're like over there. Like, you know, the commentators didn't say anything cheeky. They're like, this is our thing. This is what we say over here. Didn't get any of that. So that'll be interesting as this brand develops.
Yeah, that type of vibe would have helped out so much better. I mean, we mentioned it earlier, but like if this would have felt like an actual show that was special instead of just another Thunderdome thing, I'm sure I would have liked this a lot better. And again, I didn't hate it. You know, it's not like it's like it's going to be my worst event of the year type of thing. But
I actually really like. I didn't love it, but I really thought it was fun.
It was harmless.
Yeah, like it's the kind of thing that, again, if I was, you know, younger and not working in the coverage side of things, I'd just be like, oh, this is really cool. Like, it's just a fun show.
The second match we had was the 8-man tag. Giant Zanjeer, Dilsher Shanky, Rey Mysterio, and Ricochet won that over Ziggler, Cesaro, Corbin, and Shinsuke Nakamura. They definitely spent more time with Giant Zanjeer than they did with Dilsher Shanky. I was surprised about that.
Same energy, and I'm like, Zanjeer seems more ready, but maybe it's because they made him look more ready because they gave him gear instead of just, you know. Dilsher Shanky kind of looked like when a celebrity wrestles, and they're just sort of in sweatpants.
Yeah. He did I mean, a lot of these people that, like I said, they're not multiple years of training type of thing. So like Shanky did some generic punches and an elbow drop, not much.
It was a good elbow drop. Kevin Nash would have enjoyed it.
Zanjeer did more, but still not anything super crazy.
He's gonna be in the Rumble.
I'd be shocked if one of those two isn't.
I think Raaj and Zanjeer can be in the Royal Rumble. First of all, let me go back. I think Rama could throw people around in the Royal Rumble, but I think Zanjeer is more fun because she could do the whole everybody pile up on this giant dude. And Raaj is like, yeah, it's my dream to be a wrestler. I'm in the fucking Royal Rumble. Throw Mansoor in there while we're at it. Just get these kids. It's their dream. Let them be in the Royal Rumble. Nobody's there, so it doesn't count as much, but let them do it.
It's a missed opportunity if they don't have at least one in there. And for that matter, Sandhu might as well be in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're at it, quick side note, which I guess we could talk about tomorrow, and we will. But they're clearly doing the Royal Rumble differently this year because of the fact that they have no people. They don't care. So they're just gonna tell you on Saturday who's starting the women's match and who's coming in last in the men's match.
Yeah, we're gonna complain about that on the predictions.
So if you're gonna do that anyway, just hey, guess what? Guru Raj is in the Royal Rumble.
I do think it would be a mistake though if they added more than one per Rumble. Because then I think you're going to get people going, oh my God, this is like the 97 Royal Rumble. We have a bunch of people that aren't even really necessarily in the company and blah, blah, blah.
I just watched that Royal Rumble. It's great because it seems like people from outside sources want to get in here and be the champion. I think it enhances the feel of the Royal Rumble.
If they're a big deal, I think it works. If you throw a Liger in there, cool. Mil Mascaris, cool. But you put in
Latin
the Latin lover, and it ends up being who's this dude? Then again, on the actual WWE side of things, they had fake Razor, and so it's not like they were really doing all that great.
It's one of those things I'm sorry, but if I almost called him Tigre Uno, that is not his name. If Lince Dorado isn't in the Royal Rumble, you're really gonna be oh, this could have been his year. Come on.
Zanjeer should be in it, I think.
I will knock WWE for this one, though. So Zanjeer, it's a typical multi-man match, right? Big guy teams with little guy goes, hey, throw me onto them. I could just jump, but you should throw me, okay?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, Zanjeer is so amazing. I think even Ricochet is scared. It's guys, this isn't like the 70s where all we had to go off of was Andre. We see 7-foot dudes do suicide dives. It's a little different. I appreciate the effort, but it's a different era.
Well, they were very much treating this like a different type of thing. I mean, everything that they were doing, this is super impressive and that kind of thing. It's very pandering in some ways. So, Shanky does an elbow drop, and they're like, this is the best elbow drop that's been in the history of the elbow drops. And it's
in some ways, it was extra pandering than they even do for some of the Saudi events, where it's just oh my God, Dilsher Shanky just punched him. Whoa, that was a move.
What was up with Mysterio and Ricochet acting like dogs?
They're small.
Didn't get that at all. They're just I'm going to go underneath him and start barking.
They're small, so they can do that deal,
Weird.
Woof, woof.
So one of them's a future star. The other one's a future star.
Shanky exists, so we got to see him.
Shanky Mania running wild. He helps Mysterio win by Mysterio standing on his shoulders, which is a good ending.
Yeah. And listen, why wouldn't you do that spot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not doing that kind of a thing is a disservice to their height. So
yeah.
Then we had AJ Styles against Jeet Rama, and this was my least favorite match of the night.
Really? This was the one that felt the most polished to me.
I thought Rama's been here for at least 5 years. He should be
Is that
better.
why he knew what to do?
I
He
thought he
felt
should
like
have been
somebody who
better.
knew what to do. But I think they kept it simple, stupid, just to make the other people not feel worse.
To me, that's on them. Do a better job then. You know, never downgrade something to make something else look better. Make everything else have to work harder to get to you. You
I
know?
didn't like the promo though. I did not like the oh my god. I wish Callum was here for this one. Michael Cole and Corey Graves said in tandem, it's time to head to Jeet Street because that's what happens when you get beat by Jeet. And I just like, can you? Okay, it's boss time. Sounds like masterful art compared to it's time to head to
I liked it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I like the whole beat by Jeet thing. Why not?
And then, so they're saying beat by Jeet, and then Jeet's saying you gotta be like Jeet, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna run this into the
Yeah.
ground.
He's 40.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he might not have that long of a shelf life.
Yeah, I was surprised about that. And they were talking about how he's won like multiple trophies or cups or tournaments or whatever it was. And I looked up his age and I was just like, wow, 40. Okay.
Huh.
And I was just disappointed. I thought that for somebody who has been in the NXT system as long as he's been, this should have been easily steps above the other ones. And I was like, it's about the same as the Guru Raj match. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the suplexes. I was actually excited for him, and now that I know that he's 40, I'm like, all right, I better lower my expectations.
I'm trying to see when he actually came into the system because I think he was 2015.
Yeah,
So
Corey Graves legitimately said, I remember him walking into the Performance Center. So Corey Graves hasn't been there for a while.
June 2nd, 2015, according to Wiki, is when he got signed. So in a couple months, he'll have been there for 6 years.
Wow. Fuck.
I think he should have been better.
Well, hold on. Because we didn't talk about this. But during the Raj match, or rather prior to, they aired this video package, and I'm sorry, it's a fact. You can see that they're editing together commentary clips of other people where Beth Phoenix is talking about like, oh, this is the next big star, and then you got like Michael Cole says something great, and you know they're not talking about Raj. I've never seen the Guru Raj match where he faces Oni Lorcan. I don't know if they filmed that specifically for this, just to have some clips to show, but I've never seen this man wrestle.
I don't remember ever seeing him either.
And with Rama, I actually saw a clip of him walking to the ring at a WWE live event. So I'm like, why haven't they tried to do something with him already?
He's been on NXT before. I know I've seen him in something, but it wasn't anything like big.
Because you gotta be honest, like, Arturo Huas, I know a little bit more about him, and if he could throw people around, if Rama could throw people around too, why isn't he on TV just throwing people around?
Yeah.
Get your usage out of these guys.
And he probably lives in Orlando.
I mean, I'm guessing that everybody who was on this show lives in Orlando.
I don't think that everybody would. I don't think that Shanky, Zanjeer, and Raaj, or maybe even Sandhu. I don't know. Maybe Sandhu does. But
I said Sandy's American.
yeah, but she might live elsewhere. You know, she might be in like North Carolina or something for all we know.
Yeah, that's a lot easier to get to than
yeah. But
India.
like Shanky and Zanjeer and Raaj, maybe not necessarily. Rama's been in NXT for 6 years almost. He definitely should. And
it's not like they have a Indian Performance Center, Tony. They have to live in Orlando.
well, they weren't training all that long.
But they were training long enough to live there.
Well, they didn't say that they live there.
I know that I saw the Triple H photo where he's like shaking the hands of Zanjeer and
Yeah,
Shanky, so
I
they
get
must
a
at least be there.
I get a feeling that they probably came over here not that long ago, and they're just sort of,
That's fair.
hanging out, kind of. Maybe they'll stay. I don't know.
We,
I
we have
have
time
no
to hang
idea.
out.
But Rama, at the very least, he's been here long enough. I was disappointed. I'm glad, by the way, that like Styles won, Balor won, so it wasn't a matter of being like all the baby faces win, all the Indian talent somehow gets one over on the other talent.
Was the
Because
only one that won? The Sareena Sandhu.
what do you mean?
Was she the only Indian talent that won the match?
No, Shanky and Zanjeer won,
Oh,
and
well, yeah, okay, but they only won because they're paired with. That makes sense.
yeah, but Sandhu won paired with Flair. So
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So they didn't like patronize us too much.
yeah, they didn't have like Jeet Rama beats AJ Styles, and you're just like, well, okay, he's better than him, or like Raaj beats the NXT champion just for the sake of it, kind of thing,
Right.
So I'm glad that they did that because they, give them a
Logical.
chance to show off a little bit of their talent, but don't make it seem like when celebrities come in and it's like, all right, Maria Menounos should not be able to beat Beth Phoenix. You know what I mean?
Right. That's good. I appreciate that from WWE.
You want to talk about the what was it called? Spinning
Yeah.
Canvas?
Well, before we get to spinning canvas, I want to talk about how what was the charity they were plugging?
I
That
didn't
was
catch
like
it.
women in sports are great. I don't know how they didn't lead
Oh,
into
the
women's
girl up
match.
thing.
I don't know how they didn't lead into the women's match, but whatever. Yeah, but they did that, and I was like, they get it in on every show. It doesn't matter. They somehow find a way to prove that they're changing the world.
The girl up thing's been a thing for a while.
Yeah, but this seemed
But
specific towards.
it was like
the
girl
Latin
up
market.
for the Indian market type of
Right,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. They did this they called it spinning canvas, Bhangra dance. I'm completely I'm not familiar with it, so I don't really
You want
know.
me to just lead the way here?
Go for it.
So Spinning Canvas is an Orlando-based Indian dance group. I guess it's a cultural thing, but also people want to come in, try their hand at Indian dancing, sure. So they did a presentation. The ring was all decked out. The dance was fine,
Not my thing.
obviously it's not our culture, so it's not our thing, but I'm always very impressed at how, like, on television at least, they always make these dances seem like such a big gathering moment. Like, it's never just one dude dancing, it's always like a crowd. That was cool. It's fine. They looked good. They managed to make it work from Orlando, and I just appreciate that. And
It's a little weird that New Day and Street Profits were the ones that were introducing them. I didn't quite
because
understand
they're hyped. You gotta get hyped. Again, we didn't get any kind of colloquialism, so it would have been nice in a case like this. I don't know. I thought it was fine.
To me, this is not my thing, and it's not just because of the cultural difference. I don't like this type of stuff, no matter what it is.
Oh, we're gonna
Like,
talk about Bad Bunny performing at the Royal Rumble.
yeah, like I'm not gonna like that. You know what I mean? I am the type of person that if you see like those Vegas showgirls, for instance, I think it's terrible. I'm not into the circus. I'm not into dance performances, period. Like you could see like break dancers, and I'm like, oh, it's talent, but I don't care. Like, it's just not my thing. And if you get like colorful outfits, to me, after a split second of looking at it, that already is gone. A lot of people like that kind of stuff. Like a friend of mine is really into the Mummers Parade, and I'm like not at all interested in it. It's a Philadelphia like a New Year's parade type thing. So
Kinda
it's like
like a Mardi Gras kind of thing, but for New Year's.
kinda, yeah. And
All right.
Mardi Gras for that matter too. Like any of that stuff, I don't personally like. So when people are like, look at all the lavish costumes, and I'm like, yeah, so. And like, oh, look at the choreography. Meh, not a dance guy. I don't like dancing. So watching a dance performance to me, all across the board, every country, every uh, type of dance, every type of music, it all falls flat for me. So anybody that's going to say this is because I'm against the spinning canvas or something, they're working with a guy who doesn't like any of this shit. So you know what I mean? It's kind of like I don't really like musicals. I've been in a musical, but I don't really like it. And when I was even in the musical, I was like, yeah, can I do a non-singing and dancing part? They're like, no, everybody's got to do that. In fact, you've got like 4 songs, and I'm like, fucking great, But I went there for
The
the
fuck did you
acting.
sign up for the movie? Oh, well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I liked acting in school, and I wanted to act more, and that was one of the only other options. And I was
I'm
like, can I
surprised
just
you
do the acting instead? Like,
surprised you're not more Hollywood driven, knowing you.
I wanted to. It's harder. I didn't want to move out there and wait tables.
That's fair.
But
Uh,
the
that
that whole
spinning
side of
canvas thing,
things,
like, it's cool. I don't want to see a song and dance in the middle of every NXT India show.
you beat me to it. That's where I was going to get to. I was going to say, this isn't for me, but that's my own negative. Like, I'm sure that most people appreciate this a hell of a lot more than I do. And when it comes to like Poppy doing like You Should Rise theme, I'm like, this song sucks. And it's just like, I don't like any of that kind of crap. But some
I know.
people
Fun
do.
fact: if you're listening to this WWE shop, I bought my Poppy Halloween Havoc show day of. It's January 26th. Where the fuck is my shirt?
Hmm.
Carry on.
uh, you can't market towards one person. They certainly aren't going to market just towards me. Totally fine with that or whatever. But I do think that if we get NXT India, and if every single episode has some kind of a dance performance, I'm going to be like, all right, there's the fucking dance performance again. Just because that's what I do with any of those kind of things. Like, I am sick of like, every episode of Raw and SmackDown starting off with a 15-minute promo. Like,
Yeah, my thing is I don't want to see this ever in the middle of a show or in the middle of every show, I should say. But if you're going to do, if it's one of those cultural things that you just need to do,
which
do it
it
in the beginning
seems
of the
like it
show.
might be, because like even
Do it
the
in the beginning of the
Bollywood
show.
movies have the dance performances and stuff.
But does it need to be in the middle of the show and like
Right.
random? Just do it in the beginning of the show. Like, it's a celebration. We're doing it. All right, celebration's over. Let's rock.
Yeah, like if this was that they do 2 pay-per-views a year, and before the pay-per-view starts, when they're doing the, like, instead of doing pyro and stuff, if they did like an introduction dance, kind of like how the Olympics is, where they do like that opening ceremony type thing.
The torch and all that.
Yeah, like if they wouldn't have to make it as big of a deal if it's just, pay-per-view, but like, you do like a ceremonial type of traditional dance. You have the pyro. Welcome everybody to whatever they call it. I don't fucking know. Super Showdown Spectacle something. But the yeah, is a thing. It would have been a lot better if it would have been in India.
Yeah, again, elephants.
Yeah.
You gotta like.
Or even just a
Elephants?
crowd that can appreciate it instead of a bunch of screens.
That's fair too, but I see. I like when they get goofy in some respects. Like the opening to WrestleMania 9, people hate WrestleMania 9, but Bobby Heenan on an elephant, or was he on a camel, going backwards is hysterical to me, and it feels more like a spectacle rather than, hey, it's the big show and here's all this pyro and woo.
I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan of the Caesar type thing. We
Ah.
decree that WrestleMania will be in Caesar's Palace. Cleopatra, you want to stand around and just sort of look awkward, huh? Well, I'm going to speak awkwardly.
I guess it all depends on if you have the talent who can make it fun instead of just, well, I guess we're doing togas.
Yeah.
I guess I'm in a toga. You know?
Toga. Toga.
So
2000. So we got an Animal House reference. We got a Simpsons reference. We're all over the place here. Charlotte Flair and Sareena Sandhu beat Bayley and Natalya. This isn't Sandhu's fault, but I don't know why anybody didn't say don't play up to the non-crowd. Anytime anybody does that, and people have done it on Raw and SmackDown too, so it's not just her. But anytime it's like taunt to the crowd for cheers during your entrance, I always think it's strange.
well, let me break it down like this. Charlotte Flair was trying to do the dance too. What the fuck is that? Like, why? Like, why? What crowd are we playing to? I get it. You know, you're trying to say, well, there's still a major crowd of people at home. But you know what? You don't even respect them enough to keep the Royal Rumble entrance a secret, so don't give me that.
I liked Flair's outfit.
Yeah.
Orange, green, and white. Makes sense.
Flair, she is one of the few who always kills it with the attire.
Yeah, pretty much. John Morrison is another one, but he wasn't there. So Sandhu has had more experience than some of the others, and kind of showed a little bit.
They still couldn't let her do a moonsault or something to finish the match.
Yeah, it ended with a natural selection, and it's fine. It's just another generic match. Nothing much to it. She's not standing out to me as anybody that's amazing. She's not anything that's bad.
Rank her against somebody who's been in NXT a long time, like Vanessa Bourne earlier.
About on par with Bourne. Not as good as Aaliyah.
Fair.
But there's more like, I don't know, star power behind Bourne. Like she carries herself better. Sandhu, obviously, I mean, this is to be expected. Seemed a little stage fright or something, maybe. And again, she's wrestling the most important match she's ever had, so yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
She seemed more put together than Kavita Devi has seemed in the past. So that's a positive.
And again, she's done it longer.
Yeah. When you're working with talent that hasn't had a whole lot of experience and they haven't wrestled this type of style, you got to give them a little bit of leeway. And I'm willing to do that with Sandhu. Any other thoughts on this? I didn't really write anything else down.
No. What one? I don't know if you'll even be able to tell me. Did they change Natty's theme song?
Yeah, they did a little bit a couple weeks ago.
I don't like it.
They tweaked it.
Why?
I don't know.
She's had the same song since Jim Johnston was still doing music. What are we doing here?
No idea. I guess they just felt the need to do that instead of fixing some of their other songs.
Yeah, you could have put the extra effort into Guru Raj's theme song other than changing Natalya's.
You know what, though? Since almost everybody has their name in their song now for some fucking reason.
Billy K.
Billy K is what I was going to go with. I was going to say, just start doing mashups and just be like, bum, 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 Guru Raj. Like, I like Billy K's theme, though.
That's exactly where I went to, so that's
fair. Working Man, Otis.
Blue collar working man. I do like that though. That's a good one.
Our main event was Drew McIntyre and Indus Sher, who are babyfaces now for some reason, against Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boyz. Massive change in size here, disparity between these two.
Michael Cole had to be like, "Hey boys, you're not on 205 Live now." Well, thank you, Michael.
Kind of a pointless Ric Flair intro to this whole thing.
They promised a legend. They delivered a legend. Speaking of legends, not to jump all the way back to the Ricochet match, did you notice that when he was on Zanjeer's shoulders, that he's doing the Hulk Hogan poses?
No, I didn't.
I was like, well, why is he doing that? I just wanted to feel. Is this what it feels like to be Hulk Hogan, to be this big? and I'm a small guy. Like I can't even say that, but like that made him look so weird.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I liked seeing Jinder Mahal back.
Yeah, he's good. I looked at Mahal and McIntyre in the ring and I said, 10 years ago, guys your size would have been a no-brainer wrestling main event.
Oh, Jinder Mahal would have been somebody who, not 10 years ago, maybe even, but like, picture like how much they would have gotten, how much mileage they would have gotten out of a Jinder Mahal versus Hulk Hogan feud.
Yeah. Or like a McIntyre versus Bret Hart or Diesel or
Oh yeah, McIntyre coming in as this big guy for Shawn Michaels to topple, or you got like Jinder Mahal doing the whole thing of like, of course they would have gone with like the xenophobia type thing with Hogan, but
yeah, and I mean it worked out well for all of Hogan's other opponents. They made a lot of money.
he would have been probably champion because I mean he looks like $1,000,000 instead of somebody who's just like a barrel chested type of dude.
Right. At the
But
very least, you're getting some flag matches in there.
the Mahal thing, I want Mahal versus McIntyre before Mania.
They've got at least one show.
They got
They haven't announced Chamber, right?
they haven't announced Chamber, but they gotta do it, you know.
But then it's like, do you cram? Well, and wait a minute, we're discounting Goldberg.
Well, I'm just hoping, and we'll talk about this tomorrow when we do our predictions. I'm hoping Goldberg is just kind of there, and he's not champion, obviously. And I would like to see McIntyre against Jinder Mahal at Elimination Chamber, or I mean, if they need to at Fastlane, but Chamber I think's better.
I, if you can do it like a, no brainer, like it's 2 week build, just say, hey, Jinder's here, get it out of the way. I think it can be a fun match.
In my mind, book McIntyre beats Goldberg. I'm still again, we'll get into this tomorrow. I'm still thinking Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble. So you've established your Elimination Chamber kind of setup because it needs to be either McIntyre or Reigns defends their championship, or it's the number one contenders match for Raw, if that's the case. And if that's the
Right.
case, Drew McIntyre steps aside. He fights Jinder Mahal. And the people in the Elimination Chamber are Sheamus, Keith Lee, Braun Strowman if he's ready to go, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles, those type of people. And then Fastlane,
Um,
you get some kind of like a tag match or something. I don't know.
Again, we'll talk about it more tomorrow, but I kind of think I'm not betting against Goldberg. It's just it seems foolish to do so.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about it tomorrow. But this match was fine. I like Indus Sher. They worked the most traditional WWE style out of the bunch, so I like this the best actually.
I get that, like, just to real quick say one more thing about Goldberg. I get that he's only contracted for 2 matches, but you couldn't get him to pop up on this thing. Just be like, "Hey, India, you're next," or like, they would have lost their minds for that. Like, it's a simple thing for them, isn't it?
I mean, he was in the Thunderdome. They could have recorded that.
Yeah, just a weird thing. But this match was fine. I found it weird that like this one was kind of pandering, where it's like you've got the WWE champion right there. He should probably win the match. Whereas Indus Sher just pinned the Bollywood Boys, and it's like, yeah, you could have done that at any time.
I didn't think too much of it.
Yeah, but this is fine, harmless.
Harmless event in general. It's a thumbs up in a mediocre kind of way. I didn't expect much. They didn't give me too much, but I wasn't going into this like reviewing a WrestleMania or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I do hope that when we get to see an Indian event, it feels more like a WrestleMania.
Same here.
That's just me.
Well, I'm very curious if anybody's out there that's from the Indian market in particular. What did you think about this? Did this feel like a special show, or did it feel like it was pandering because it wasn't in India? Did it feel like it was something special? I don't know. And if you're not from India, of course, you gotta let us know what you think too, just in case.
Yeah.
But it was what it was.
I think
Uh,
thumbs up.
yeah, yeah. It
I
was a
mean, like
thing.
you're just incredibly indifferent. I just like I think it was pretty good. Yeah.
It's like I said, it's not going to go on my worst events of the year by any means. I highly doubt it's going to be the best, but I'm really hoping that that's yeah, if this is the baseline of what we get for the rest of the year, I'm going to be really disappointed. But if it doesn't get any worse than this, then that's amazing. So, yeah, middle of the road type of thing. I didn't do any of the other plugs midway through. I was expecting to do. I didn't even think about that. But just to round these out with some other plugs that we didn't mention before, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/smarkoutmoment. There is the $1 and up tier, and $5 is like an ad block forgiveness type of thing. $10 is $10 and up, I should say, gives you access to the special dark casts, which are Patreon exclusive episodes. Same thing, of course, when you hit the join button on YouTube, it's exactly the same. There's the Pick Your Poison tier. We're going to be doing something with that pretty soon, as somebody requested us to rebook WCW Starrcade 1998. That's
Which
something
is
we don't really talk
amazing.
about all that much, so that'll be real fun. And we've got, of course, plenty of things that are in the pipeline. And the next that you're going to be hearing from us is going to be the predictions for the Royal Rumble. Then after that, we're going to do the hot tags. We'll talk about Peacock. We'll talk about WWE backstage before it happens.
I
And
honestly think we're gonna talk a lot about Peacock.
yeah, quite a bit. Then there's another episode of the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast. You know what's coming up for this week for that episode?
I do know that Hulk Hogan has just joined the ranks of the SmackDown roster, and Vince McMahon is floored. Now we're on the road to No Way Out, and we're on the road to finishing this podcast series because unfortunately Paul Heyman's time as head writer is coming to an end. But more of the fantastic stuff and Bill DeMott that you've come to expect from Paul Heyman SmackDown. So let's see how it goes.
And then after that, of course, we're going to have on this weekend the Royal Rumble itself. So we're going to do the post show for that. Then we're going to roll on and kind of do things the way that we normally would do here. But another way for you to show us some support other than just listening to these shows and hitting the like button and following us and subscribing and all that stuff is the merchandise shops. Those are at T Public and Redbubble for not only just Smark Out Moment, but the stuff is elsewhere for a Mango Tees and Fanboys Anonymous, which we got plenty of stuff happening on fanboysanonymous.com as well. We've been doing the James Bond retrospective and going through all those movies, which is called A Review to a Kill. And we've recorded, and I've got scheduled all the way up to Thunderball. At some point this week or early next week or so, we're going to do You Only Live Twice. And, we're going to roll those out every Friday, unless things change. And then, maybe I'll change the posting schedule. But some of the other stuff we've done recently, we did a thing with WandaVision, which is on the Patreon for that. Our first impressions for that. I still haven't seen episode 3, but
That's a shame.
we'll do something with WandaVision coming up eventually. We've got the Mulan audio commentary track where I was watching it for the first time. That's up on the channel right now. And whatever else is happening, you'll find it over on fanboysanonymous.com. So show some love over to the Blue brand and, like all those things, subscribe, all that good stuff. What else you got to plug?
You can check me out everywhere. It seems like news is happening. WrestleZone, Fightful, mostly Fightful these days. I'm basically on there every single day. This weekend is not only the Royal Rumble, but it's the GCW Fight Forever 24-hour stream going from Friday at 8 p.m., not like anything else is on, to Saturday at 8 p.m., right in time for us to watch backstage. So this weekend will be a busier weekend. Follow me on Twitter, Dude Felice. Check out everything. else on Smark Out Moment, including Callum's power rankings, Dallas's triple threat. Everybody's working so hard over there. I just love being a part of the team, and yeah.
And yeah, indeed. And I love you guys all being a part of this whole experience with us too. So thank you for joining us for this ride, and we will see you next time. But for now, this has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.